Ladies and gentlemen, here! Woo! Thank you, Klaus. Thank you for the effort you've made as well in getting us all together. Ladies and gentlemen, I represent the East Arnhem Chamber of Commerce, and I would now like to invite Blue Douglas, who's also a committee member of the Alliance, to come and talk on behalf of the community.
Well, good afternoon, East Arnhem residents. Firstly, I'd like to apologise to everybody here. I know that about 3 days ago I gave most of you a bit of a heart attack, and there were quite a few people that were a little upset at me for writing such a story. While I accept that you get upset, there's no point in pointing that at me. The next time you see that story, it won't be fiction, it will be truth. And if you think that any of the services mentioned in that story will remain, those and many, many more will leave us. That we can guarantee. We've already looked at that scenario and we know that's going to happen. On to my speech, and again, you'll have to forgive me for reading. I've got a few points that I wanted to make sure we got across on behalf of the community. I've lived here for 42 years. I was raised here. I went to both schools here. I learned a trade here. I watched the place grow and thrive over those 42 years. I've lived through both the good times and the bad times of the past, so I have seen things like this happen before. I know what it does to our community. It's not pretty, it's not good, and we've been torn apart once or twice before by various scenarios. I've seen all of your children be born here. I've seen a lot of them go to school and grow here, and I've seen a number of them remain here to call Gove their home. It's that sort of community. If you're raised here, you love the place, you stay, as I have. I also have a lot of friends buried here in this ground, as some of you do, and it's sad to think that the effort that they've put in over the last 42 years can be just disposed of from the lack of a decision by two parties in order to get gas to Gove here. And I must point out too, along with Klaus, that the gas to Gove is what saves the East Arnhem region. So you need to understand that we're not trying to save the refinery, we're trying to save Gove and all of the East Arnhem communities, because if Gove closes down, there are many little communities along the way that just won't survive either. As Klaus said, if you look around the Oval today, the number of you people you can see here today are the expected number of people that will not be here in 12 months' time if this deal does not go ahead. So as a visual representative, what you see here and more will be gone by this time next year, and that's pretty much guaranteed. Gas will be, as Klaus said, gas will be supplied to every major centre along the gas route. They haven't asked for it, it's just been supplied to them. So my question is, why does Gove have to be the little orphan child sitting at the back step begging to survive? We're a Northern Territory community in the same way that every other community down the gas line is. They receive gas without question. Why is it that Gove has to beg for that gas when we're a Northern Territory community as well? What we need to understand is that both parties involved in this deal at the moment are trying to do the right thing by us all. However, they're currently standing at about 10 paces with a gun pointed at each other. What they don't realise is that gun's not pointed at each other, it's actually pointed at us. And if they don't step forward, shake hands, sign a deal, it's not them that will, well, they will suffer, but ultimately we will suffer the most. We will not have a community, there will be very few people left here. I call on all of East Arnhem residents, both Yungel and Ballender, to step forward today and be heard. The media are here. Please make your point. I call on the media that are here to report truthfully, please. Please don't cut this to make it a story that suits your headlines, which has happened in the past. Please report our facts as they stand. We're not trying to dramatise them, we're trying to make a point. Finally, I call on Terry Mills, the CLP, government and Rio Tinto to come together and sign this agreement. We all understand that there are risks involved. Terry Mills said to me and a bunch of other people in the room yesterday that to just sign the deal today would be like rolling the dice into the dark without knowing the outcome. Well, my question, Terry, is what's the difference between that and not signing the deal? I can tell you what the difference is. The difference is rolling the dice into the dark. There are no guarantees, but in the next 10 years, which is the time frame you've told us that it will take to secure more gas, you can do that. If you don't do that, I can guarantee there is no roll of the dice. This community will close. Finally, I'd just like to say to everybody, again, thank you for coming. I hope you can all stick around, wave your signs, make your point, make sure that we're heard, try and get our message out, not only to Northern Territorians, who, by the way, are under the belief that we're asking for a handout. We're not asking for anything. Everything we're asking for will be paid for through a commercial agreement. It's not a loan. It's not something that will cost Territorians anything. Finally, as everybody here will say, let's get together. Save the East Arnhem region by getting gas to Gove. Thank you.